User joined your channel.
Boy, it's quiet here.
All right, welcome to another edition of the Spotter Stand, coming to you live this week from Dover International Speedway. BSR Pockets, BSR Hot Rod in the booth with us again this week. I believe we've got Chevy Chase in here. He may be gone at the moment. And I thought I saw BSR Magoo recently joined with us here tonight. Welcome, fellas.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Texan?
We've got another great week. More racing action. Everybody racing at Dover this week in just about every series. We've got points updates, bonus points updates, and a few more picks to start you out with this week. Let's get right over to it. Here's our boy HB on his recent graduation picture. Congrats, HB, on that. I saw in the post he was going to be moving on to another college, and you know, for a lot of us that are lucky to get out of high school, that's a great accomplishment, man, and you should be proud of that.
Yeah, our man HB Hardy, series director over at Boyles Trucking for the Saturday Night Speedway series. He was absent this week, been kind of hit and miss because he's got a lot on his plate, graduating college, moving on to Liberty University, continuing his education. We're proud to be associated with him, wish him all the luck in his future plans, and we wanted to give him a shout out and tell him congratulations and give him his props for all that he's doing, and like I said, wish him continued luck in his progress forward. Good job, HB.
We've also got a pick here. You guys may have already seen this car once. This was recently received by BSR Nelly from BSR Poor Boy, number 5 Kellogg's machine there. Also, you can see his beef jerky, one from a drawing, and his little polar bear there. I'm pretty sure that's representing White Bear Lake for his buddy RJ Rusty in the medicine chest.
Yeah, that's one of the prizes from the Polar Bear 500 last year, or year before last. Actually, last year. But yeah, that's Roger Bevins was gracious enough to award a die-cast car to Nelly, and also RJ Rusty got one. We don't have a picture available of it yet, but we will get one to show for the future. Thanks to Roger for offering up that prize, and as always, our good friends Richard Heyman, Mark Heyman, all the fine folks down in Dallas, Texas, throwing out the Drunken Cow Jerky prizes. I actually think that may be part of the prize package that our good friend BSR Magoo offered up. Magoo purchased quite a bit of quantity of Drunken Cow Jerky to pass around, to have these drawings and prizes and stuff like that. And I'll tell you right now, we were talking earlier, the way this is going is people are winning prizes, and we're just like an example the other night. Steve Looney won some Drunken Cow Jerky, and then the next night he won some in a drawing, and he decided to pay it forward and have another drawing on that prize that he won. And we've got so much jerky, so many people forwarding prizes, so many people awarding prizes and everything. I'm actually lost. I don't know who done what. I'm trying to keep up with all of it, but there is a lot of stuff going on we got a lot of good people, a lot of good prizes, a lot of good races, and we're just happy for everybody to be able to get in here and actually get something for coming and supporting these series. You know, we don't ever ask anybody for a donation. Our members, our sponsors, all the good people, they take care of everything so the racers can come in here, and that's our thank you to them for supporting our series. They get to come in here and win some prizes, and we actually award prizes to the people that win it. We don't just say we do. We actually give it to them, and we're proud of everybody for pitching in and supporting these series and races.
Absolutely. Everybody appreciates. I know they appreciate everything they get, especially that that jerky. Everybody loves that stuff. It comes and it goes just as quick. Let's get straight on to our racing action this week. Starting out with Monday night, the Nitro Series, which is going to be moved over for those of you who are watching now and aren't already aware. Axel's going to be running that tonight on Sunday night instead of Monday. See if maybe we can get a little better draw on the weekend night than on Monday night. This week in the Nitro Series, ran at Michigan, and BSR Brain Fade in that number 49 Red Baron Pizza Oldsmobile machine there took the win. You got our top 5 for us in that, Larry?
Sure do. Brain Fade with the win. Nelly got second, followed by Poor Boy, Axel Foley, and then Chevy Chase rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, that's a good series. Continuing on, we've made a suggestion and had a discussion with Axel talking about moving that series back one night to Sunday night. Our thinking is that people get on, you know, they watch the NASCAR race on TV, and it might give them, you know, they might watch that race and decide, you know, I want to do a little racing myself, kind of get their competitive juices flowing. So we've moved it back we're going to try it for a couple of weeks here on Sunday night. This week, tonight's race, they're headed to New Hampshire for some flat track racing action in an Aero 88 mod. So y'all come on out and support that series. Axel does a great job. I made in the post, I said in the post there, you know, Axel's famous for just throwing out a surprise. Come in, you're racing, and Axel will say, hey, we're going to, you know, he don't do it every time. We don't expect him to do it every time, but he's very gracious, and he contributes a lot here, and he'll throw out a prize. It may be, there's no telling what might be offered up. And then some of the other drivers, like I said, Roger Bevins and other people, they may just throw up a prize, die-cast car or something like that. So we got lots of prizes, lots of good things. I mean, you really get something besides just you're more than just a name and a number here at Bomb Squad Racing, Voiles Trucking Racing Series. I mean, we really appreciate our racers, and we try to give them something to show them how much we appreciate them. So yeah, tonight, Sunday night, Axel Foley and the Nitro Series headed to New Hampshire.
Let's take a look at the points for the Nitro Series. Currently, Brain Fade and Nelly tied for the lead. Would you look at that? Tied for the lead. That doesn't happen very often. Chevy Chase, well, would you look at that? A tie for the lead, and then we have a tie for third place between Chevy and Poor Boy. 4 points back, and then Axel rounding out the top 5, down by 9. I don't know if I've ever seen that, a tie for the lead and a tie for third at the same time.
Well, one thing's for sure, that will change tonight. I don't see how that will continue to be tied up like that. So, but yeah, that's kind of odd. But that'll show you how close the competition is. Those guys are racing door to door, and you know, they're having good finishes and great weeks and good racing. So that'll show you right there how close the competition is. So if you want to come be a part of it, come check it out.
Am I seeing that right? Roger, diecast, did you say that's happening tonight? I know you'll be on a little delay there before you'll hear that, so we'll give some time where I can see you in the chat there. Let's take a look at Wednesday night, back to the trucks. We've been running dirt since the trucks have been off the last few weeks, but trucks were back at Dover this week. And that starts our week at the Monster Mile. Actually, we had some great racing. That track is tough. It's real tough on tires. I don't know if, in the trucks it wasn't so bad. You could make a fuel run, but Cup Series, man, it was tough. This week in the trucks, when you know it, yours truly, BSR Texan, brings home the win at Dover, and I'll take that whenever I can get them. I don't get many wins. I haven't had many this season. A few maybe in the trucks, but I don't think I've had any in any of the other two, the Cup or the NXS series yet. So, man, I sure appreciate that win. I think I kind of got lucky. Our boy Rick Johnson had a really fast ride and a great long run setup. He was a little better than I was in the long run, and he had some trouble and missed pit road in that race. At the last, we had a green flag pit stop. It was going to be the last stop of the night, and he missed pit road, had to get towed. Yeah, ruined his entire race. I think that's the only reason I was able to bring home that win, but I'll sure take it. So we got a top 5 in that race, Larry?
Sure do. BSR Texan gets the win. Chevy Chase running up second. Third was Poor Boy. Fourth was Axel Foley. And BSR Pockets rounds out that top 5. Look at that.
Ooh, what you talking about? That's right. That's right. Yeah, this is the return of the Truck Series. Truck Series has been on a little short hiatus like they always do every season. And we returned back to Dover this week. Had a great field of racers. I mean, just look at the heavy hitters in there. Steve Looney, R.J. Rusty, Monty Keller, Keith McLean, Rick Johnson, all the great drivers for the return of the Truck Series. That series is back on track, and it heads to Kansas next Wednesday night for the Drunken Cow Jerky Wednesday night Truck Series. And be another good, exciting night of Truck Series racing headed to Kansas. So we look forward to it.
At Kansas, a great track, always great racing at Kansas in all the series. Let's take a look at the points here in the trucks. I believe it's only 4 races. They've been off so many. We've only had 4 races so far, maybe 5 in this series. There I am, Texan, up at the top. BSR Brain Fade, second place, down by 34. BSR Chevy Chase in third, down by 40. Pockets in fourth, down by 41. And Poor Boy rounding out the top 5, down by 49.
Yep. Points are tightening up. Boy, I tell you what, you've got a commanding lead with just how many races was it? Say that was 1, 2, 3, 4.
We were 5, have we not?
Yes, that was the 5th race in the season.
I believe I have 2 wins already in this series, so that may be.
You are right. I believe you are right. You do have. Looking, yes, BSR Texan with 2 wins, so that gives you that commanding lead. But the way these points are structured and the way these races go, that can change at any minute. Everybody's still a contender. We're still banking the bonus points and getting ready for the end of segment 1 in some of these seasons. So that's every point counts. And like I said, this Wednesday night Truck Series heads to Kansas next Wednesday night.
And Thursday night, we also ran at Dover in the Cup Series. Another good race. Lot of fun. I believe we did have 1, 2 green flag pit stops in this race also. Is that correct?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, sir.
Of course,
yes, we did.
I don't think anybody was able to make a fuel run. I know I had to pit with somewhere in the range of 15, 18 laps of fuel left. My front tire went red. I had to pit, didn't have a choice. So I think everybody was pretty much in that same boat. Within about 5 or so laps, I don't believe anybody could make a fuel run in the Cup Series. The tires were just wearing out.
Yeah, it was really tough. We were talking about that earlier. We were all comparing to how far we could run, and it was all over the board, whether you could run with 15 to go or 12 to go or 10 to go or 5 to go. Everybody's on a little bit different tire strategy. Some people tried to stretch it and tried to get the maximum out of their tire wear and hopefully try to capitalize on maybe somebody else having some trouble. and it was a heck of a race. A lot of good, close, hard racing. A lot of strategy being played out there. And at the end of the day, that number 21, Steve Looney, very popular win here amongst the crowd at Bomb Squad Racing. Steve, great guy, great clean racer, great sportsman. I mean, you can't ask for a better racer to come join your series. We're glad to have Steve, and congratulations to him on the very popular win here at the Drunken Cow Jerky Thursday Night Cup Series.
Yes, Steve pulled it off. He definitely pulled it off. Great race. He was up there battling for in the top 5 most of that entire race, and did what he had to do. Brought home the victory. Great job, Steve. We got our top 5 in that one, Larry?
Yes. Mr. Looney with the great win. Rick Johnson was tight on his heels. Now we've got 3rd. Terry Scott gets 4th, and Axel Foley rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, another great race. You know, like I said, we're getting very close to the wrapping up segment 1. I think we go to Kansas next week again in this series. It's going to be, you know, I think all 3 of these series. Sure, we'll double check that here in a minute, but we're headed to Kansas. That was race number 11 of 13 in the first segment. So next Thursday night, Drunken Cow Jerky Thursday Night Cup Series heads to Kansas for race number 12. And the segment points are tightening up. It's getting close to the end. Those valuable bonus points, everybody's looking close and racing hard and seeing how they're going to shake out after this first segment. A lot of good racers, a lot of good racing to be had on Thursday night, as always, here at Bomb Squad Racing. So we look forward to moving this series headed over to Kansas and see what we got on Thursdays.
Yeah, only 2 races left until those segment bonus points are going to be awarded. And currently, holding the top spot in this series, Chevy Chase. Been doing a good job holding that spot down for the last few weeks. And they're on BSR Texans, 2nd place, down by 11. Pockets in 3rd place, down by 35. Nelly in 4th, down by 39. And BSR Brain Fade rounding out the top 5, down by 45. Just 2 races left to try to make it into that top 5 and get you some more bonus points toward the chase before the end of this segment 1.
And if you look at those top 2 in the standings there on Thursday night, that's 2 of 2017's champions right there, returning for 2018, putting points on the board, placing themselves up at the top of the standings, and identifying themselves as the 2 teams to challenge. If you want to get up there and run for these prizes, run for these championships, those are 2 drivers right there you're going to have to put on your list of people to beat and contend with every week, every Thursday night at the Drunken Cow Jerky Thursday Night Cup Series. Like I said, segment 1 getting close to the end, and of note, after Kansas, we head to Charlotte, and Charlotte is a special event, all-star week, all-star bonus points, lots of special things going on 2 weeks from now. So we head to Kansas. We'll see what we got on Thursday nights, and then we load up and head back east to Charlotte and do a little all-star racing for a little extra bonus points. So there'll be some hungry drivers after them bonus points. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah, and then we will reset for the 2nd segment, which for the Cup Series will be another 13 races. And then there will be a 2nd segment of bonus points handed out again before the chase begins. Also going to be a 2nd segment in the Friday night series, which we're going to get to now. This Friday also at Dover in the Xfinity Series. Another great race. You know, after the experience we had for the next 2 nights, I think Friday night's race probably turned out to be one of the cleaner, better races. Quite a few green flag pit stops. And Nelly bringing home the victory at Dover in the Xfinity in that 103 Medicine Chest Pharmacy Camaro. You got a top 5 for us there, Larry?
Yes, Nelly gets the win, checks in, breathing down his neck. Then it was Chevy Chase, Terry Scott, and Pockets again, rounding out the top 5.
Yeah, that was a heck of a race there on Friday night for the Drunken Cow Jerky Friday night NXS 15 series. And I'm going to tell you right now, that Nelly had a piece up underneath him. It was just as fast as any car I've ever seen at Dover. I mean, he was class of the field all night long. Led the most laps with the 85. Just barely snuck out a win there, staying in front of BSR Texan. You know, you got Chevy Chase, Terry Scott, myself, Axel Foley, Monty Killer. I tell you something about Monty Killer, man. I'm telling you right now, that guy's a hammer at Dover. He is a car to contend with at Dover, and we were glad to see him have some good finishes this week. We had 4 nights of racing at Dover this week, including the race at the Voiles Truck and Saturday Night Speedway Series. And again, the Friday Night Series was just an outstanding race. Lots of good racing, lots of good, clean, hard racing by some top-notch quality drivers. Glad to have everybody on board. I think that was the race where Steve Looney forwarded his prize, and we had a drawing for it. I'm not really even sure who won. I should probably start writing all that stuff down so I wouldn't be so confused. Like I said, we got so many jerky prizes and stuff going on, but I'm sure whoever Magoo and
Terry Scott, I think, got it.
Yeah, I believe so. I believe Axel offered up a prize there on one of those nights. Like I said, we got Axel, we got Magoo, we got Mark Heyman, Richard Heyman, we got WLS Graphics throwing in T-shirts for the Saturday Night Team Series. I mean, we just got so much stuff going on that it's hard to keep up with, but we get it. We keep it sorted out here. If I don't know it, somebody does. So, yeah, another great race on Friday night, wrapping up our 3-night stand at Dover in the Bomb Squad Racing Drunken Cow Jerky Racing Series this week. So we look forward to, again, this series heads along with the other 2 series to Kansas, where we'll line them up on Friday nights at Kansas Speedway and get down to business and do what we do best. And so good luck to everybody headed that way, and we'll get the points sorted out. More bonus points on the line, probably more jerky, no telling what all is going on. So, you know, best way to get involved in this and get some of that jerky is get in here and race with these top-notch racers. See what you got. See what you know, we like doing the drawings. That way, some of the guys who aren't fortunate enough to maybe have a good race and have the good luck that they need to put themselves in the top spot, we want to give everybody a chance to get some of that Drunken Cow Jerky and some of the prizes we offer. So a lot of these are just random drawings. I've got a hat full of numbers over here. We draw out the lucky drawing, and it works out really good. It does. It's a lot better than bingo, as Roger Bevins will attest to. I think he likes the drawing out of the hat a lot better than he does bingo. So, yeah, we'll keep that up all season, all year long. So we're glad to be able to do it for our drivers that support us.
Well, I've had the points up there for this series on Friday night. Also closing in on the end of the first segment. And there I am, BSR Texan, up in the lead of this series as well. BSR Terry Scott in second place, down by 4. Nelly in third, down by 8. BSR Chevy Chase in fourth, down by 15. And BSR Pockets rounding out the top 5, down by 22.
Yeah, once again, as close as that series is, headed to Kansas and then back to Charlotte for that bonus point All-Star weekend. That right there is apt to change. Everybody's so close that one misstep, you know, one little bit of unfortunate accident on the track or misstep in pit road or something like that will change those points. So as close as they are, it's something we'll keep an eye on here at the spotter stand and let you know every Sunday how your favorite driver is faring here in these series.
It's kind of ironic with Chevy and I. Last season, I was the Cup champion, and this season he's leading the Cup points. Last season, he was the Xfinity and Truck champion, and this season, I'm leading the Xfinity and Truck series. So we're exactly flip-flopped on series this season from last season. As of now, anyway. There's still a lot of racing to go before the end of it all. I just thought that was kind of funny to point out.
Yeah, that is worthy noting, and like I said, yeah, that's that could stay the same. It could change. Y'all both could move down. Somebody else could move into those spots. It's just all how the races go and everything like that. The competition level is very high here. A lot of good, clean drivers, and anything can happen. So, you know, these drivers, they come into these races, they understand that mistakes is what'll hurt you here, because there's some guys here that put together good races. They put a good string of races together, and they'll capitalize if you make a misstep. So, like I said, we'll keep a close track on all of this close racing action and keep you informed here every Sunday night on the Spotter Stand.
Yes, we will. And moving on to Friday night after the Xfinity Series, the Voiles Trucking Friday Night Dirt Series running at the Devil's Bowl every Friday night. Devil's Bowl right here in my hometown of Mesquite, Texas. Racing's been getting better and better in the dirt every week, and another great race this week. And Rick Johnson bringing home the win at the Devil's Bowl. Good job, Rick. Congrats. You got our top 5 in that one, Larry?
Yes, Ricky J gets the win. BSR Hot Rod had second. Eli sporting a new car in third. BSR Furco in fourth. And the Reaper rounding out the top 5.
How about that dirt series, Voiles Trucking Dirt Series over there at Mesquite every Friday night? Man, that thing has come alive. That's putting in getting some good numbers. 13, 14 dirt track drivers. 13, 14 of the best dirt track drivers, I might add, coming in there to Mesquite every Friday night, and laying it down on the dirt in the Voiles Trucking Dirt Series with support of our great friends Mark Heyman, Richard Heyman, everybody over at DrunkenCowJerky.com. Visit DrunkenCowJerky.com for the finest craft-made, award-winning whiskey and beer-soaked beef jerky on the planet. And I tell you, that series right there is turning out to be one of our most favorite series. You know, we run asphalt mainly, and we all come together as a group and decided that we wanted to go back to the roots of racing, where the average Joes work hard all week long, and they spend their hard-earned money out of their own pocket, and they show up to their local track every Friday and Saturday night and do what we all love to do, which is racing. And so this is our tribute to them, to go to the same track every Friday night and simulate what those guys do, as a tribute to those guys who work hard every week, whether they be lawyers or plumbers or bankers or electricians, whatever they do, hard working during the week, and they spend their hard-earned money putting those dirt track cars out there on the dirt track for, you know, hard racing action for the local fans there to watch. And we really enjoy this series. It's really heated up, and it's becoming, I still say, I just love being back there in the back of the pack and watching those dirt cars, because as far as the simulation goes, we are simulating dirt track, your local Friday and Saturday night dirt track action there at the Voiles Trucking Dirt Series on Friday night down there in Mesquite. So very proud of that series, and a lot more dirt track racing action to come on Friday nights. So we'll be there and be ready to race on Friday nights. And thanks to Brian and Kathy Voiles and everybody over at Voiles Trucking for the fine support they give us, the prizes and all the things that they do for us for these series.
Yeah, that is absolutely a great series. It's been a lot of fun, and I can't believe I missed the race this Friday night. Personally, I just fell asleep after the other race. I couldn't stay awake, and I missed the race, and it cost me. I was in the lead going into this race this week, and I have lost that lead to BSR Chevy Chase, currently holding down the top spot. And Chevy, I might mention, was a little apprehensive about the dirt. He really didn't care for it, and he wasn't even going to run it. And we, Pockets and I kind of talked him into it, I think, and he came and ran a race or two and kind of got used to it. And here he is, leading the series, top spot with BSR Hot Rod in second place, moved up 3 spots this last week, down by 6 points. BSR Brain Fade in third, down by 14. And I fell back to 4th place, down by 15, and BSR Furco, who also missed a race earlier in the season, down by 16, rounding out the top 5.
And it's no surprise that if you look at those standings that you see in 2nd place and 5th place are resident dirt experts, who the guys that we go to for all the dirt track racing knowledge and setups and procedures and stuff like that. It's absolutely no doubt to see them in the top 5. Good to see Furco and Larry Hot Rod in there in the top 5. And, and Chevy Chase, just look at this guy. Here we are. we're pulling teeth to try to get him to run this series because we all
Can
know.
adapt.
Yeah, we all know that you give Chevy a good car, you put him on a track, and he's going to be a contender. And those standings right there shows that he is a contender week in, week out, top notch driver, classy guy, just fun to be around, fun to race with. Good to see him on top of the standings. We'll follow this series closely to see if he can hold it out and get a dirt car championship. Just another trophy to put up on his mantle of the many that he has as a champion here. So we'll follow that closely and see if he has what it takes to hold out to get a dirt late model championship.
Well, I can tell you we've got somebody in here that's definitely going to want to have something to say about that, and that would be Hot Rod sitting there in second place, only down by 6.
And if you remember a couple weeks ago, I was outside the top 15, and now I'm sneaking up in there.
And we're only about, halfway through the season?
Halfway.
And yeah, that's still a ways to go. A lot of racing to happen. And I would imagine that those are going to change a little bit here and there. And moving on to Saturday night. Saturday night team series. Getting ready to wrap up this season as well. Another good race this past Saturday. Once again, I fell asleep. Missed the Saturday. I missed all the races Saturday. I missed the Saturday team series. Didn't get to help my team out. I felt bad about that. We were in the lead. I think we had a 12-point lead going into this race Saturday night. My team didn't do terrible. I think we finished in 6th place. You guys told me
5th.
5th place.
Oh no! I'm sorry. Nope. It was actually was 3rd.
3rd? Momo was
6th. They finished at 6th.
All right, I know it was 6th or 7th.
Not too bad. I still wish I could have been there to help them out, though. We did lose some points, but still managed to hold on to the top spot. BSR SS Joba and that number 56 Ghost Machine brings home the win 2 weeks in a row. You guys remember he took home the win last week in the team series, and he's pulled it off, making a double header for his team, Ghost, and they've definitely gained up in the points because of that.
Absolutely, they moved into 2nd place, just by a slim margin over Teriyaki. And I'll tell you, that SS Joba and that 56 Ghost car, that's his 3rd win of the season, 3 wins out of 9 races. That's a strong statistic, but he is an absolute strong, one of the best pure super speedway racers in the business, one of the best racers overall. That guy's a contender every time he shows up at the track. You know, when that 56 hauler rolls into the track, people point and say, there he is right there. So he's showing it on Saturday nights and moving up. And I'll tell you, Killa, I wanna kind of get you back here a little bit. This is a hard series. These series, you know, we race all year long. We've got a lot of racing going on, and you're one of the ones that's a top contender, a top racer. You're always here, and that's a lot of racing. That's a strong schedule to keep up with, and for a guy to kind of need a little small break or need a little rest every once in a while, that's very understandable because very few people can keep up with this rigorous schedule that we have here at Bomb Squad Racing between BSR and the Drunken Cow Jerky series and the Voiles Trucking series that we do on the late night racing. That's a tough road to hoe. So we understand needing a little break every once in a while, but I know you don't like taking a hit in those points because you're a champion, you're a contender, but I'm sure you'll bounce back. And that Saturday night team series, we head back to Talladega for the last race number 10 in season 34. That's where the T-shirts, somebody's walking out of there with a nice event T-shirt sponsored by WLS Graphics, Tim Scarborough, BSR Scar, all the folks over at WLS Graphics kind enough to offer us up a really nice prize for the 3 people on the team that walk out of there with a championship. So next Saturday night's going to be really exciting. There's going to be a lot of hard racing, and with 0 Hots in the lead, Ghost 6 behind, Teriyaki 9 behind. that deal is not over by any means. Anything can happen, especially at a super speedway race at Talladega. Are you kidding me?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's gonna be a big deal right there.
yeah. You can see
And just
last week, Ghost cut that lead in half. Uh, Actually, I think they cut it more than in half because I believe Teriyaki was in second place, down by 12, and Ghost was
they
in
were
third
down by
place, down.
14.
Yeah, so
14.
that's 8 points in one race, and we had a sixth place finish. So that just tells you, you know, if Ghost manages, if SS or one of his teammates manages to pull off the win again next week, you know, our team Hot will have to finish fourth place or better and lead a lap to, I think, even tie or maintain the lead.
Yeah,
But,
and that race came down to, that race came down to the four cars, the hot car, your teammate BSR Momo, being the good sport that he was, went back to try to get one of the beer baking cars connected back up with the draft, and it ended up costing him quite a bit of time, and it came down to four cars, but two of them were Ghost. One of them was an original, myself in the 38, and the other was Teriyaki, Roger Bevins. And I'm telling you, Roger Bevins, he laid it all out on the line. He told us after the race that his crew chief made a call. He put on 80 tape, and what a run that was to make it that many laps with 80 tape. And I mean, he kept it out there. He battled SS Joba just as tight as they could. There was a lot of lane swapping and jockeying for position, but in the end, SS squeaked out a win there, and Roger Bevins had a great run trying to do it for his team. So the Teriyaki team should be proud of Roger and all he's done for him this week. He runs hard every week. So we'll go to race number 10 at Talladega next Saturday night in the Drunken Cow Jerky Battle of the Five Flavors and Wolf Bites and see who comes out victorious in season 34.
And just to throw it out there for Momo, because I know Momo drove his butt off, even though he went back to help out a wolf bite car. Pocket's not a beer bacon. And he gained the most spots. He gained 7. So, yeah, so it wasn't that he wasn't trying, Texan. He had it all out there, too.
Yeah, that was a wolf bite. He was going back to get Chevy there, and then
Yeah, that's right.
oh yeah,
some valuable draft.
I'm glad to have the teammates I do. You know, Momo is a great super speedway racer, and Ray 50 as well. You know, Ray and I tend to qualify right next to each other. Usually he's second, I'm third, almost every week. So we're always close together on the start. Momo usually qualifies pretty well, and usually, you know, gets right up there with us, and we all work together pretty good. So, yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't be there to help him, but like I said, we still got the lead, and hopefully we can just have a good race next week and maintain and bring home those T-shirts, fellas.
Yeah, that Momo, he's a damn fine drinking partner and a pretty damn good chicken griller. I see him out there with the Drunken Cow Jerky spice bottle in his pocket, manning the grill, throwing down some chicken legs and thighs out there on Sunday afternoon. So, yeah, he's a good racer, good cook, even better drinker.
That fireball.
That's right, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I seen him with a little old shot over there on the side before he enjoys his barbecue Drunken Cow Jerky spice chicken legs and thighs. So, yeah, he'll be a contender there next week also.
Also on Saturday night, after the team series wraps up, we move over to the Boyles Trucking Saturday Night Speedway Series. Also ran at Dover this week. That is a fixed setup series, running the MENC 18 mod. Another great race over there at Dover. Dover just seemed to be really a great track. Only a mile long, but even though it's tough on the tires, it seems to produce some really good, clean racing. And this week, it's Robert Baucom taking the win in that brand new white chocolate M&M's number 118 Camaro. Great job there, Robert. I believe he's taking a pretty commanding lead on the points here too, as we'll see here in just a few. You got the top 5 for us on that, Larry?
Yes. Robert Baucom gets the win. Monty Keller gets second. Poor Boy got third. Aussie Bill gets fourth. And Brain Fade rounds out the top 5.
Yeah, how about my man, White Chocolate, Robert Balcom in the 118? Got him a new car this week. Larry was gracious enough to award Robert a brand new white chocolate car because Robert, several weeks back, Robert was bragging and telling us how much he enjoyed those white chocolate M&Ms and kind of earned himself a nickname. And I tell you what, he took that brand new car and he did it justice and gave us a shout out to Larry and put that thing right where it needed to be in victory lane. And Robert, class of the field. And I'll tell you right now, Monty Keller with a second place finish. What a great finish by Monty. I mean, 4 nights at Dover, Monty there, great racing, great. It just good to see him. Very popular for, a lot of people like Monty, love racing with him. He's a good, clean, respectful guy. Good to see him up there in second place. And I'm going to tell you right now about that series right there. What makes that series is just the class of people that we have in that series is what we think puts it above any other series you can race on Saturday night or any other night for that matter. I mean, you got Robert Balcom, Steve Looney, Rick Johnson, Brain Fade, our good friend Aussie Bill down there in Australia, racing hard, getting up on Sunday morning to race on Saturday night with us, and just a great class of field, Brain Fade, and just great series. We look forward to that. We had a couple of people that were otherwise occupied that couldn't make it this week. Brian Voiles, he was out busy working hard, doing everything he needs to do to continue the support for this series in the real world, and Killa. Killa had his little
Sleeping.
Yeah,
Napping
had his little nap going on there, and Bubba J, we missed him this week, and Steve Furco, he's still recovering from some back injuries, but we had several people out this week, but those people, they'll be back. They've made a commitment to the series, and they'll be back, and we'll continue the great racing on Saturday night in the Speedway Series. Real quick, let me run down the segment winners here because I just got a message not long ago that I made a mistake on the post. That'll tell you how valuable HB Hardy is because he's the one that keeps up with all this stuff, and I got a little confused, but it's the first stage was Rick Johnson, followed by Robert Balcom, and then Roger Bevins. Second stage was Robert Balcom, Monty Keller, and our good friend Aussie Bill, and then the top 3, which would be the last stage, was the winner, Robert Balcom, followed closely second by Monty Keller, and then third place, Roger Bevins, BSR Poor Boy, gets those extra valuable bonus points for the stage wins and everything like that. And we will load up and head to the land of the sun, Phoenix International Raceway, next Saturday night in the Voiles Truck and Speedway Series. That Phoenix, a little bit different track. It's different from any track that we race on the schedule, and that'll be some great, exciting racing, and we look forward to loading up and heading west in the Voiles Truck and Saturday Night Speedway Series for some more racing action on Saturday nights.
Yeah, Phoenix, one of my favorite tracks in the game, one of my favorite tracks on the NASCAR schedule. I love racing that track. For some reason, I'm able to get in the groove and run a good race there. So I really love Phoenix. I'm looking forward to going there.
Well, I'm glad somebody likes it.
I do have to throw out there that Ricky J would have gave Robert a pretty good run. He had a pretty stout car if he wouldn't have ran into mishap.
Yeah, we were talking about that. How that the best racers. It's a totally different deal when you look from on paper to on the track. Statistics and all that stuff will point in the direction of how great a driver is, but once you line those cars up in a real world application on a track, in a race, every race is different. Every race presents its own possibilities, and that's what racing is all about right there. It's not about on paper. It's about what you do on that track. You can be affected by good luck. You can be affected by bad luck. Things happen, and that's what affects those points more than anything. It's not the statistic of how many races you've won or how good you are. It's how good you are at the moment, at the second on the track that you're out there. Anything can happen, and Rick Johnson was unfortunate enough to experience some bad luck, like drivers will do on occasion. Even the best are not immune to bad luck, and Rick Johnson got him a big dose of it, and it affected his race, knocked him out of the race, and he'll be back. He's a good racer. He understands those kind of things, and he understands that he can be affected by them just as much as anybody else. I'm telling you right now, our series points leader by 23 points, Robert Balcom. He'll agree with everything I just said. He knows that he has to do everything and be prepared for everything that presents itself race by race. You're not guaranteed anything when you walk through the gate and put a car out on this track. So we'll keep an eye on it on Saturday nights here on the spotter stand, and we'll report back to you and let you know how things go.
That's right. You can have the fastest car on the track, but anything can happen once that green flag drops. There's all kinds of variables in racing, and Robert Balcom, as we see, doing a great job this season, not only bringing home a couple of wins, but doing well in the stages as well. And those stage bonus points really help add to that lead of 23 points over Rick Johnson there in second place. And we got Monty Keller moved up 4 spots last race, third place down by 43. Aussie Bill also moved up a spot in 4th place, down by 46. And Steve Looney rounding out the top 5, down by 51.
Yeah, good to be joined by our good friend Virgil over in the chat box here on YouTube, on the Texans YouTube channel here, watching the spotter stand. Good to see you, Virgil. I know Virgil's a big supporter. Him and Bob Tompkins and lots of others watch our races on our streams and everything like that. And Virgil's he's got some new hours at work or something like that's caused him to miss a few, but he always goes back and checks the broadcast after he gets back. Glad to see him. Glad for all the supporters. And even those guys, some of us, myself, Texan, and a few others, we have a program here at Bomb Squad Racing and Voiles Trucking that if we win, you win. Our people that watch and support our streams, we take our prizes that we win and we forward them and have a drawing and let our people that watch our streams benefit from the prizes and the support they give us. And to my knowledge, nobody else there's nobody else in sim racing that does that. There's no racers out there forwarding their prizes to their fans, to the people that support our streams and everything like that. And we appreciate them being here, and glad we can share some of this Drunken Cow Jerky and some of these other prizes with those folks. And it's just part of what we do here to just make sim racing in general a better place.
That's right. We're glad to do it. It's it's slogan, if we win, you win. Sometimes just to make sure people don't get confused, it don't mean we have to win the race, because most of these Drunken Cow Jerky prizes are given out by a random drawing at the end of the race. So anybody in there has got a chance at winning that prize. And if I win, you're watching my stream, I'm going to forward my Drunken Cow Jerky prize on to one of you guys that's watching the stream. So same with Pockets. And we really appreciate you guys watching and being with us every week and every night.
Yeah, and I really like getting those guys involved. They get in there and they sit there and they watch every bit of the race, and then they're rooting for their favorite driver. And then at the end of the race, if there's a prize being awarded, then they're in there and they've actually got a chance to win some great prizes from Drunken Cow Jerky or some of our other sponsors, or the people who are kind enough to donate stuff to make the racing fun and exciting here. And it's just fun to watch those guys sit in there and be a part of the drawings that we have. And we really appreciate all they do, all our sponsors do, all our racers, all our supporters. We couldn't ask for a better group. We have a great group, and I think that's it's the people that set us apart from all the others out there. We get the best people and we have the best races, and we're proud to do it.
Hey, I got some comments on the race tonight.
Floor is all yours.
Right on. Hey, here's the deal. The Monday Night Nitro Series, as you know, is moving to Sunday night just to see what kind of fellowship we get. But the thing about this series is If you don't have a set, my set's already loaded in the guest services room in TeamSpeak 3. If you have any issues getting to it, I'll make sure you get it. No problems. And if you're a little afraid to come out and run because maybe you don't pit well, maybe you fall behind, whatever, well, our race director, Axel Foley, he has this little thing where he doesn't like the group to get separated, so he'll end up just calling a command decision, and we end up having a caution thrown, a competition caution, so everybody can get caught back up and get in their little groups, and off we go. So come on out and support, man. It's a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that, like
Yes.
Chevy said, that is BSR Chevy Chase, the voice of our Cup Series leader at the moment. Yeah, come out tonight and support that series. That'll be kicking off practice. Will be open in about 30 minutes, if not sooner. It's an Aero 88 mod. Most people already have that mod. If you don't have a car, no big deal. Throw in one of the game cars. Come race.
Yeah, speaking of Chevy Chase, he made mention there of guest services. Chevy Chase is our manager of guest services. And what that means is that we are a private, nonprofit, invitation-only league. But if you have some interest in joining one of the best sim racing leagues in NASCAR Racing 2003, we have an office. We have everything set up, and Chevy Chase is the manager of guest services. Contact him on Facebook. Message the Facebook page or something like that. He will take you to the office, and he'll check you out, see what kind of person you are. Make sure, because I'll be honest with you, we expect a certain type of individual to come in here to keep the sanctity and the races clean and fair and honest, and Chevy's good about welcoming people and telling them what we expect and what's required and the eligibility requirements to win these prizes. So contact him, pick his brain a little bit, find out what it's like, see what he's got to offer you, because he takes real good care of our guests. And like he said, if you don't have a setup, we're not going to just throw you out to the wolves out there on the track with nothing to work with. We'll work with you. We'll help you. We want you to be competitive because we want you to have fun and come back. So we offer setups and all that stuff. And like I said, we do have some eligibility requirements, but if you meet the eligibility requirements, you can get in here and be a part of these great races also.
Yeah.
And that set is the set that I'm starting with tonight. So don't think it's some other set.
That's exactly what I was about to mention. Chevy is, Chevy's willing to give his setup to everybody at any track, and he'll give you what he runs. He's not going to, make some changes and give it to you so he can be faster. He'll give you exactly what he runs. And if you notice where he's at in the points in all of these series, first place, second place, third place, they're not bad setups. They're usually always good. They're drivable, and like I said, don't be afraid to come out and run. Like I said, you can get a great set and come have some fun.
Absolutely.
Let's take a look at the bonus points, since how we had a little bit of a change in all the series this week. On the right-hand side of this first graphic here, we've got the truck series, which picked back up again this week, ran at Dover, and I took the win there. So we've had only, looks like 5 races. Poor boy won the Daytona race, and both myself and Keith McLean with 2 wins in that series. Looks like that bumps me up to the lead so far in the bonus point area in the trucks with 4. Poor boy trailing right behind me there with 3. Keith McLean there with 2, and Brainfade also got 1 in there. Over to the left-hand side, the NXS 15 series, Nelly took the win this week. That was 2 for him in that series, moved him up to 2 bonus points there, and up to a total of 2 over there on the total side. HB still commanding the bonus points in that series with 3. A few guys you can see down there at the bottom with 2, and quite a few in there with 1. Still a lot of racing to go in both of these series before we get to the chase. And don't forget you'll get your showing up for each race bonus points. And if you show up to the majority of the races, you're going to get full bonus points as though you showed up to all of them. So these are just the extra, what's going to be added on top of those. Pretty much everybody's going to be fairly even going in before we add these points here. That's why we just show you these throughout the season, because this is really what's going to make the difference when it comes down to the chase.
Yeah, that whole scenario right there is going to have a big scramble here when we head to, like I said, we're going to Kansas this week. The next week we head to Charlotte for our All-Star events. We have 3 nights of All-Star events.
Nope.
What?
Nope. It's the trucks and the Cup run not next week, but the week after, and then the following week.
Okay.
And then the following week after that is just the Xfinity or the NSX is on its own. The week of the 600.
Well, when's the All-Star event?
That's what I'm saying. Not this week, but next week. The Truck All-Star event is that week. The Cup All-Star race is that week, and the Xfinity is off. The following week, the Xfinity All-Star race and the 600 race.
Yes,
So
I got
it's kind of split up a little bit.
Yes, so it'll be actually 2 weeks, but there'll be some All-Star events on both weeks at Charlotte.
That's correct.
Now, what'll happen here is, this is what'll happen. It's going to be a big shakeup in the points, because there's been a couple of people come in here. They've won a couple of races, but then they've decided for whatever reason to not race or whatever. They're going to lose if they didn't
Their full bonus point.
Yes, because there is a cutoff. You're not just automatically, your bonus points are gonna reflect how many races you run if you didn't run the required amount of races to receive the maximum number of bonus points for starts.
I believe it was 9 out of a 13 race segment, was it not? Was that correct?
I believe so, and that's for the tag members. The other one is, I'll have to resort back to my rule book. I don't have my rule book handy here with me right at the moment, but 6 or 7 of the 13.
I believe it was
like half.
I believe it was the other way around. I thought it was.
I believe it was
7 of 13 for the members and 9 for the 9, or 9 for the non.
Yes, and so that's gonna be something that people should have paid a little more attention to, but they can possibly make that up in the second segment. But these points, the way these bonus points are set up is that you are going to be rewarded for supporting the series and showing up. It's only right for the people who run the most amount of races to be able to capitalize on the most amount of bonus points. Because
and if you didn't make the minimum amount of races to receive the full points for that series, you'll still get the bonus points for the races you did show up to.
That is correct. Yes,
correct.
You will get a bonus point for the race that you show up to, but maximum amount of bonus points is what you're looking for here, because that's how we keep it fair. We don't want a guy to come in here that's run 3 races to have as many bonus points, or even be close to the guy that's run 13 races. That's not fair.
Yeah,
you want, because we're running for
that guy who comes in and runs 6 or 7 races all year. He still has a chance to win the championship, but it's not going to be easy.
It will be slim.
Who's raced a few races to beat the guys who've been there every week.
Yes, it will be. It will be a very slim chance, because, like I said, we're giving concessions to people, and the way these bonus points are set up is that we understand that people have obligations in their real life. For example, Robert, he has things going on. His daughter's in dance, and he has to go travel to dance competitions and stuff like that. We're not going to let Robert lose contact with the points because he has to be there for his family. We're gonna take care of Robert and the rest of the drivers, but these guys that just want to come in and run a few races and everything, if we're running for championships here, these championships come with some serious hardware and some great prizes from our sponsor, Drunken Cow Jerky. If you want a shot at those, you're going to have to do what it takes to earn them. We're going to give you every concession that we can, but you're going to have to, number one, you're going to have to support these races. You're going to have to come in and do what needs to be done and put yourself in contention in these points columns to be able to have a shot. It's only fair. The people that come in, the more support you give and the more races you run, the better chance you have and the more bonus points you get. That's how it goes here, and that's the way it should be. And like I said, this is in the coming up weeks, this is going to be a big shakeup. We'll be doing the math, we'll be doing the adding and subtraction, and we'll keep you posted right here on the spotter stand of how these bonus points will go, because this first segment, when it's over, it comes with some bonus points for being in the top 5. And those top 5 bonus points for those segments, there is no concession for those. That's where the top 5 in the standings is, because they showed up and they did what it took to be in the top 5. There's no gimmies in that section, in those section bonus points. You got to show up, you got to race hard, you got to earn those points. And those 2 or 3 points that each driver will earn in those segments could be the difference between walking home with some good hardware, championship hardware and prizes from Drunken Cow Jerky, or walking home empty-handed. So it's up to you. It is what it is. You get out of it what you put into it, and that's the way this was designed.
And it works. It works great. It has for quite a few seasons, and I'm sure it will continue to in the future. Let's take a look at the Cup Series. Steve Looney taking the win this week at Dover, added to the win column over there on the left-hand side with his bonus point, and also over to the right on the total bonus points. That box almost halfway filled up now, and you can see these empty 3 boxes here toward the center right. Segment 1, just a couple more races that'll be wrapping up, and the winner or the leader at the end of segment 1, 2 bonus points. And then the other 4 of the top 5 all get 1 bonus point to add toward their chase. And as we've talked about several times already, these all-star races also coming up here in just a few weeks. You see that at the bottom of that empty slot there. 3 bonus points to the winner of the all-star race, 2 bonus points to second place, and 1 to third, fourth, and fifth place. That top spot, 3 bonus points. That's a big deal in that.
That's like winning 3 races right there. That's 3
right.
races worth of bonus points. That's 3 wins right there worth of bonus points for that one all-star event. And you bring up, you know, the perfect person, Steve Looney. He's a perfect example of what I was talking about. He's starting to come around. He's supporting these series more and more. He comes in. He's very competitive, very clean, and all of a sudden, boom, there he is. He's got a win. Boom, he's on the bonus points. Boom, he's on the list. He is a contender now for when we wrap up all these segments, and this fall, the end of summer, we head to the last 10 races of the chase. Steve Looney, if he is so inclined, will be a challenger for the Drunken Cow Jerky Championships on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. He could walk away with some great prizes and hardware. So he's doing what it takes to put himself in there, and that's what people have to do.
Yeah, that's right. With that win, you can see, he's only within 2 points of the top guys so far. Momo with 3 in there, Robert Balcom with 3, a few other guys with 2. So, yeah, Steve Looney, I'm sure that may not be his last win. That may not be his last point in that column before we get to the chase. So, yeah, right there with everybody else. And it's going to be exciting when we get to the chase and it comes down to those last few races. I'm sure it's going to be close.
Yeah, drivers like Monty Keller. I mean, top-notch, top-class drivers like Monty Keller. People are looking forward to him putting his car in victory lane, putting himself on the list for bonus points, and I'll tell you right now about these bonus points. A win is not everything in the bonus points. I mean, placing yourself in the top 5 in these segments and just coming to the race and starting the race. Fielding your car for the event, those have its advantages as far as points goes and stuff like that, because we have seen people in the past be contenders in the last 10 races of the chase who have no wins. but they've done what it takes to keep themselves in contact with those who have wins. And when we go into the last 10 races of the chase, they are contenders. They have a very legitimate shot and can move up the board, because that last 10 race chase, that's 10 races, folks. That's just 10 races. Everything's off the board. No more bonus points, regular scoring. So you go in there and the guy leading the bonus points is 7 points ahead of you. I promise you, after that first race in the chase, that all changes. And then it's 9 races, run what you brung, see how good you are. And it comes down to the last race as we head to Homestead to figure it all out. Nobody comes in and dominates any of those series. It's a week by week dogfight for every little point you can get. And it turns out to be the most exciting race in the NSIM racing.
130 points in the cup at the end of the year separated the top 10. 130 points.
There you go.
Yeah, those wins, they definitely help, but like you said, they're not everything. If you look at Friday night, the Xfinity Series, I don't have a win in that series, and we're well into the first segment, and I'm still in the lead, even being winless. Just being able to put together good, consistent finishes each week, even not necessarily getting a win, but even still trying to maximize it and maybe at least lead a lap, get a bonus point for that every week. You know, and these points, it's the same way, trying to make your way into the top 5 at the end of each segment. You know, doing the best you can to be a top 5 in one of these all-star events. Just trying to maximize, just like you would during a single race. You know, you try to maximize what you can do over the season as well.
Absolutely. The single most important thing that you can do that will affect these points is build a car on the starting grid of these events. That is what's going to put you in contention. That's what's going to keep you current in the points, and that's what's going to give you your best shot. You come to these races, you run your race, take what you can, you take your losses, you take your gains, but rolling through the gates and putting a car out on the track is what makes you a contender in these series. And if you want a shot, I highly suggest you do just that. Show up, run what you got, and let's see how it all shakes out.
I was top 5 in every series last season. I did not win a single race all year. I only got the max bonus points in all the series and ran all the races in the chase, made the top 5. So it can be done.
We'd like to thank all of our sponsors for everything they do for us. Drunken Cow Jerky, Voiles Trucking, Real Tech LLC, WLS Graphics, the Medicine Chest Pharmacy, RJ Rusty, Hello Sunshine, hello.
Hey, I just got a message here on my Facebook. The number 118 White Chocolate headed to New Hampshire for the Saturday night series here. Bomb Squad Racing. He just sent me a message, said they're loading up and heading this way. So y'all will have some more top-notch, high-class competition there on Sunday night for Axel Foley's Nitro Series on Sunday night, headed to New Hampshire tonight. So he just sent me a message and said they're rolling this way. So the rest of you guys, you want to get in there and have some great racing in New Hampshire, 8:05, 9:05. Central Eastern is what time they got scheduled qualifying. If you're going to be a little bit late, send us a message or something. We'll always hold up for you because we don't like to leave a guy behind that wants to race. We're not very stringent on our start time because we understand people have real world responsibilities. They got families, they got jobs, they got other things they need to do. This is our hobby. This is our passion. This is what we love to do, and we understand and take that into consideration for everybody. So y'all come on out and join us. Like I said, contact Chevy Chase Guest Services here at Bomb Squad Racing for any interest that you have in joining any of these fine series.
And practice does open an hour early, so the server will be up at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern time for practice. Anybody that wants to get in there early and run some laps. I know I'm going to make it tonight. I'm definitely not going to be asleep. I'll be there.
I'm not taking that bet.
I just polished off a cup of coffee, and as soon as we get done here, I'm going to go get another cup, and I'm going to go straight into the server. I'll be there. I'll be awake. I promise you.
There you got it. The number 201 of Duck Butter Jones headed to New Hampshire. We got White Chocolate, Duck Butter Jones. We got all the big hitters headed to New Hampshire tonight for Axel Foley and the Nitro Series on Sunday night. So y'all come on out. We'll offer y'all some of the best, clean, most respectful racing in sim racing. So come on out. Glad to see everybody here on the spotter stand, and we'll be back next week at Kansas. We load up, and everybody loads up the big circus that is Bomb Squad Racing and Voiles Trucking Racing, and we head to Kansas.
Xfinity's off this week.
Xfinity's off this week, so Friday night's off.
Yes, sir.
So there you go.
Well, I'd like to thank you guys for another great week. We appreciate everybody tuning in. You guys were... we had a good little crowd in here tonight. Chat box was going pretty much the whole show. We really appreciate you guys keeping this active, tuning in live, and going right along with us. And we're going to roll us out of here. We'll see you next week from Kansas Motor Speedway. Appreciate y'all. Have a good week.
Thanks for coming, holla.
Later, everybody.